Hello, everybody. I would like to welcome today Zaimah Khan, who is an expert in certified change management and a practitioner who works closely with emotional intelligence and has more than 20 years of experience. She has also worked closely with Association for Talent Development and is currently based out of Virginia, US. So welcome, Zaimah. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Aisha.
Great to have you here. So amidst the COVID crisis that's happening right now, and since you are an expert in emotional intelligence and adaptability is one of the is one of the fundamental competencies of emotional intelligence. So I would want to know from your end, how do you define adaptability?
So, adaptability is one of those things that's kind of hard to define sometimes because there's so many things that are attached to it. A lot of people confuse flexibility and adaptability to be the same thing. I would say adaptability, the closest definition or the best definition that I've come across is that it's the ability to change and not lose focus of what you're trying to accomplish. So if you have a goal in mind and you have a path in mind, if you run into an obstacle, you can adapt and you can change the way that you get to that goal and not be frustrated or held back by the obstacle.
So amidst all of this that's happening right now, I feel a lot of people are struggling to adapt. There are a lot of things that they need to adapt to as well. So over here in Pakistan, in specific, we have shifted to remote working, and for us that has changed a lot of things because we were used to working together in like office spaces and in person. So if I were to ask you that presently, how are you adapting to things right now amidst COVID?
So I think what's important, because the biggest challenge with COVID right now is the uncertainty. Nobody knows when this is going to end. Nobody knows when it's going to be safe to go out. So uncertainty, you can be a very adaptable person, but uncertainty can still make you feel frustrated or be challenging or make you feel as if you are out of control. So in terms of trying to stay adaptable, the things that I would remind people is to have a routine because that gives you a sense of structure. And also to just be very kind in general. Everyone is coping with this in a very different way.
Agreed.
So the more that we can sort of focus on, hey, everyone is going through a different experience, let's just be kinder and more understanding, even with ourselves, even and with others. We're surrounded by family all the time, and it's not something that any of us is used to, especially because if you are trying to accomplish work and your spouse is trying to do the same thing and your
It's
children
like a
have
lot
to
of
get their school
variables at
done.
the same time जो आपको juggle करने हैं. So you have family in the background as well. You have your work, you have your bosses, you have your peers, and there are too many screens suddenly to look at too. So I feel that people
Yes.
who would struggle with multitasking, for them, this has become all the more problematic. What do you think?
I think yes, like in वैसे people say that multitasking is not necessarily a good thing. I think people who are very rigid or very structured, they are probably struggling with this the most, more so than multitaskers. So if you're the sort of person whose life is very organized and you look forward to waking up and going to the office and
At a
doing
fixed
your stuff
time and
there.
following a fixed orderly routine.
Exactly. So I think that is a little difficult for people to sort of get used to. Is like again, I think this is where the empathy or the kindness matters. कि भाई, everyone is going through this. We're not alone. It's uncertain, so therefore we have to take it one day at a time. Again, we don't. I think that's the biggest challenge. Is nobody knows when this is going to end.
Agreed.
अगर हमें पता होता कि that by December or by September we're done,
We had a timeline to it.
Exactly.
If COVID had a deadline, things would be a lot different.
Exactly. Because we don't have that, and because this is going to fundamentally alter our lives for a lot longer than just, the time right now. I mean, it's look at, yes, everyone's trying to stay at home, but again, if we have to do this for the next 6 months, how many of us are mentally prepared for that? We're not right now, but if we knew, okay, after 6 months, hum log nikal jayenge, then you can prepare yourself. So again, it's like the uncertainty is, I think, what's getting to everyone. So the adaptability part of it is keep your goals in mind. You still have to get your work done. You still have whatever your family or social obligations are. TK, they look a lot different right now, socially at least. You're not meeting people as much. Lekin, that doesn't mean that you disconnect. You stay in touch, check in on your loved ones, baat karo, phone karo, all that stuff.
Because social distancing is more in terms of physical distancing rather than emotionally getting disconnected. So I think one of the great benefits of screens is that we can still like reach out, look at each other, have a conversation which is real. So उस लिहाज से social distancing नहीं है. So if I were to ask you, okay, what are some of your favorite routines that you have developed which you feel आपको एक anchor provide करते हैं amidst all of this uncertainty? Any you would like to share?
I don't know if I have established any routines. I think one thing is that mere ghar mein at least there's spaces. So I have this home office, but I share it with my husband. So since he's home all the time now, he's mostly in the office. And then my kids are in different places. So I think just the fact that everyone sort of has their space, that's been a good thing. In terms of routines, I will say this has been one of the few times where I wake up and I'm like, okay, I need to exercise for my mental health and my, personal health. And I have never been a fan of exercise, but it's given me a purpose in a way, in the sense that I know if I don't do it, it's going to be even harder. So that's a new routine that I'm slowly building during this time, because I'm like, acha maine kahin jana bhi nahi, so might as well, I think that's been the biggest blessing, and also at the same time challenge, that we all have extra time because we're not sitting in traffic or going somewhere or doing any of that.
So the commute ka time tha wo bhi cut down ho gaya, getting stuck in traffic. So those hours have been eliminated as well.
Like what the average kya commute ka times hai, like yahan pe in this area, because I'm just outside of DC, average commute time is about an hour one way. And I would imagine it's something similar in Karachi and in Pakistan in general, depending on where you're going. So, think of it that way. Aapke paas ab 2 extra hours hai every day, if not more. Plus, if you don't have to get dressed up and do all of that to that extent, wo bhi aapke paas extra time aa gaya. So what do you do with this extra time? I think the biggest thing I would say to people is do things that give you peace and give you joy. And if you just want to lie down in your bistar with a but phir bhi, if you just want to be left alone, then that's okay. Don't fall into the trap of listening to everyone that be productive or ye bhi kar lo aur wo bhi kar lo.
Exactly, because anxiety ke saath productivity ko manage karna is another challenge in its own right. Because what I observe over here is that there are people who are becoming very obsessive as well, and they've started micromanaging hygiene in particular. So I see people actually spraying around Dettol and all of those stuff like everywhere, के doorknobs भी साफ हो रहे होते हैं, हर चीज जो पहले कभी देखा भी नहीं था. And then there are those people who are becoming optimistic and they're like, nahin, this is the time to chill out and have a vacation. And then there are your bosses at the back who are telling you to meet your deadlines. So I feel that we are trapped somewhere in between taking a vacation or being like OCD and then managing a productivity, something of that sort.
It's 100% true. Wo jo OCD hai, that's coming from the fact that you feel so out of control. So you're trying to reclaim the control. And us lihaz se, if you're the sort of person that needs control, setting up a routine is what's going to help you at this time. And not sirf aap apni routine set up kare, but tell other people in your house that this is my routine during this
very
time.
Important. Don't disturb.
Don't disturb, exactly. If I'm sitting in whatever place, having your specific area so that you can set up your workstation in the way that you want to and have it stay that way. चाहे वो आपकी dining room की table का एक कोना हो, लेकिन उसको रहने में. Don't break it up down at the end of the day और फिर से नए सिरे से इंसान शुरू करे. Just leave it there. Have that be your workspace. कुछ नहीं होता, कोई नहीं आ रहा.
That's true, because you need that sense of order and predictability. क्योंकि external world से तो वो चली गई है predictability, but चलो at least हम अपने internal worlds में कहीं ना कहीं वो order or predictability I feel we can restore to some extent at least.
Exactly. So and that's exactly why people are obsessing Dettol ke saath, sara kuch saaf karna and everything. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Yes, we should be wiping our doorknobs. Koi bahar aa raha hai, ja raha hai, jo bhi kuch hai, wo sara kuch, that's really important. Lekin if you're obsessing over that, that means that you're feeling things are out of control and you need to find what you can control. Is moment mein asking yourself, what can I control? What is within my control? And how can I react to it or respond to it? Not even react, sorry. Respond to it. That's the important part. Because it's like things are coming at you and aapka sirf reaction hi nikal raha hai. Aap respond nahi kar rahe, soch nahi rahe. You're not giving yourself the time to think about it.
All the stimulus that's coming your way, you're just like going and like reacting to it rather than actively choosing your response.
Exactly.